Hi, Capricorn Sun and Rising. Welcome to your January 2023 Astro Update. It's Raina here, and you're the first sign that I'm doing for 2023. This is a year that I am eagerly anticipating. I want to do the numerology of 2023, but also numerology in general on my channel because I think that it adds some depth to everything that we're dealing with, whether it is the year, the month that we're in, and just even the degrees of certain transits. I always look at that as well. So, this is going to be a 7 universal year. And one of the things I remember reading about the number 7 is that it's a turning point, and it's a very contemplative number. So this might be a time that we are spending more time going within and not being as distracted by the outer world, although I have a feeling that the outer world is going to pull us all in because I think there will be things that happen that can't help but make us have to sit up and take notice. So we shall see. But anyway, as always, Capricorn is the season that is going on when we start a new year. And this year it's going to be a little bit different because we're going to be facing two personal planets that are retrograde still as we enter January. So I have a feeling that it's going to feel like a hangover from 2020 for the first 3 weeks of the month, and then we will see a very clear shift that takes over and builds until the pivotal month of 2023, which I believe will be March. So on the 6th of the month, there's a full moon at 16 degrees of Cancer, but I do want to remind people about the Mercury retrograde because it is in your sign, and on January 1st, Mercury is at 23 degrees 36 minutes of Capricorn. So it is losing degrees. When Mercury is in your first house, you're really thinking about yourself for some reason. But what we would call it is rethinking. Am I really putting myself out there in a way that is the best for me? Maybe it worked before, maybe it's not really a good way to do things anymore. Promoting yourself. How do you carry yourself? Even physically, how you look. Mercury can make you think about these things at the very least. And something is up in the air about that because you haven't made up your mind. So you're going to have that full moon in Cancer on the 6th. This will affect that opposite house. So the first house where Mercury is doing its thing, retrograding, is the house of the self. The 7th house, the opposing house, is the house of the other, or the house of relationships. So a full moon in that house highlights this area of life. If you're married or otherwise coupled, this can be some kind of awareness that you have of what is going on in that relationship. And sometimes you don't like what you see. Sometimes it's like it's come to a crisis point with a full moon where you know that you cannot keep going the way that you're going. And you may feel like something is forcing your hand, in a sense. For some people, this may be the issue of commitment coming up. Maybe if somebody is living with their partner, they are not comfortable with that, and they really want something that they feel symbolizes a permanent commitment. It might just be that you realize something about the person that you're with that helps you to understand them better. Um, the seventh house can be legal matters, so something could come to a head or a close. On the 12th, Mars turns direct at 8 degrees of Gemini. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a long time Mars has remained in Gemini. And this is the sixth house for you. So this is a house that deals with work matters. There might have been a kind of like uneasy truce in the workplace if you had some kind of thing. Who knows? Maybe it's connected to a legal matter. Maybe that's that full moon or arbitration. It doesn't have to be in a court of law. Maybe it's like the human resources department is resolved, and then Mars turning direct kind of makes it possible for you to go forward. So if, let's say a Capricorn person was promised a promotion, didn't get it, and they filed a complaint about it, then you are able to move forward and go into the future either having what you want or knowing where you stand at the very least. So all of these things that I'm talking about, these are resolutions. On the 18th, Mercury turns direct at 8 degrees of Capricorn. So you're resolving within yourself. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to think about myself. It could even be just in this internal thing of like how I'm going to regard myself. Maybe you've been catching yourself putting yourself down to other people, and you realize that is very disempowering and things like that. On the 20th, the sun goes into Aquarius, and here you see the shift really beginning because we have these retrogrades of personal planets happening, and then the sun goes into a different sign. The very next day, we have a new moon at 1 degree 33 minutes. This is the reason I included the minutes is because 33 is a master number. And I feel like this is going to be a very creative new moon, and especially for Capricorn, this is affecting your second house of earned income. That is what Aquarius means to you. And for a lot of you, this will actually be in the first house because it's only at 1 degree of Aquarius. But I'm going to just interpret it, and if it is in your first house, it's going to be like almost like turning over a new leaf because you had Mercury in this area, and now you understand more about what you want to do differently in your life. And it could be in different areas of life. It doesn't just have to be with your appearance or your mannerisms, but something that you have been really thinking about, you can implement. But for that second house, it could be a new stream of income, a new job, even indirectly, just because you're making money, or like, if you've been out of work for a while, maybe a new position within the company that you're making more money. And the very next day, Uranus turns direct at 14 degrees 56 minutes of Taurus, which means it's almost 15 degrees of Taurus. This is a fellow earth sign, and this is your fifth house. The fifth house of creativity. If you have started a side business, or maybe it is your main business, and it feels like everything has been kind of, I don't know, way too unpredictable. Even though Uranus turning direct will not stop some of that from happening, it may not be as chaotic. Uranus is a loose cannon energy when it's retrograding, especially. And at the same time, I wonder if it causes people to be less inclined to do things, out of the box because maybe they feel like they're craving some kind of predictable results in that area of life. So they just kind of stick to the tried and true. And now you can be more experimental because if you are starting a business and you're feeling like you're not getting that kind of consistent clientele or sales, you may be trying to follow the advice of somebody else who it worked great for but doesn't necessarily work for you. I see that a lot where people think that they can apply somebody else's method to themselves when we're all individuals and we all have different ways things are going to work for us based on who we are and things like that. So also in terms of love, you may have kind of just gone hog wild a little bit because this can make a person less inclined to even want to settle down. This is not the area of settling down, but I'm just saying, like, um, it's almost like reactionary sometimes. I feel maybe when you have Uranus retrograding in the fifth house, it's like freedom becomes a liability or something along those lines. When somebody has like gotten a divorce, and maybe that's what that legal matter was. The full moon, definitely. When you have the full moon in the seventh house, your divorce may become a done deal. But you may have already been separated from that person, so maybe it wasn't so much that, oh wow, now you're free from them. You have been free, but it was just kind of like the last indication of that. And sometimes people go a little bit nuts. Even a Capricorn person is capable of doing that because they're celebrating their freedom, but they don't realize that you don't have to be self destructive to enjoy freedom or do something that isn't going to lead to your peace of mind. So now things might settle down, but you still will have those pleasant surprises, unexpected surprises in this area of creativity and love and the business that you own. Okay, that's what I have for you, Capricorn. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double astrology readings. If you like how I do these readings, my double readings are an hour of natal chart analysis and an hour of 2023 transits. And it's a special price because I sell these readings separately too. So you can find out more. That's called my deep dive reading. You can find out about that and my other readings at the link below. Thank you for listening. Have a great month. Happy birthday. Take care. Bye.